Okay, so you saw the quick breakdown. This is a little something from today. This is going to be the first issue card. So, let me see. No, this is where I want to do it. Let's see who's above whom, right? So, let's see. Okay, so let's see here. So you'll remember up here, we did. That's what I was saying. Okay. We did a couple of previous cards, right? And if I zoom in on those, okay, that's no good. Why can't I zoom in anymore? I used to be able to zoom more. What's going on? Okay, so what is it doing? It's not letting me. Okay. All right. No, that's too big. Is that okay? Does that get me a full card? So we had cards previously. Oh, I didn't put the pot farmers up on here, and I've decided to go with yellow. I don't like purple. I did not put up the pot farmers for some reason. So let's run through and put those up before we start drawing. Let's see, where did I hide my pot farmers? Here we go. Oops. Now I have to go back to fit the screen. And it's not tossing it in. Let's see, try again. There we go. There are our pot farmers. We want to get them this size. It's about the right size and the right. Nope, that was over here. Smaller than usual. Okay, 1.5. It's actually 1.5 by 2. So that's the right size. We'll send our pot farmers to the back. Then send the back to the back. And maybe clear that up. Okay, so that was the last one we did, was the pot farmers. Should be a yellow card. We won't bother with that. Because you are going to become president all because of the pot farmer vote. I think we said 200 was good. Gave us a good look at that card. So let's move that over. So that's what the card looks like here, in black and white, which when the game gets put up online is probably how most people will do it. Just, put them on some cardstock and have something, and print them out and so forth. Actually, that one looks pretty good. I was a little ambivalent about the pot farmer drawing, but I'm liking it right there. I'm liking the way it looks on the card, so that's perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and shrink the pot farmer down. So we'll shrink the card down. So we've got the cards. Leave a copy of what the card will look like over here. But we're going to switch from the card here to next page down here, and go to HeliCop Parenting. Sort of, I didn't realize people were still talking about helicopter parenting. But apparently they are. I was just listening to a podcast about some guy complaining about all of the problems with education, which include all of the standard ones, including the helicops that tormented you as a child. And so we are going to dedicate this next one to your parents, if they were helicopter parents. If you had normal parents who did not say things like, you better come home by the time the lights go out, and instead said things like, get out of the damn house, like mine did. What the hell good is a kid inside of a house? Go play in the street, that sort of thing. If you had good parents like that, then, this card isn't really for you. But if you had bad parents who planned everything in your life from the ages of -3/4 to 27.5, then this card's for you. All right, so we just need to choose one of these places. So we have 3.5 by 4, which is a lot like, or 3.5 by 6. Ooh, that's too far out. So we'll have to bring it in. 3.5 by, no, it's 4.5 by 6, right? Yeah, 4.5 by 6, which is going to be our size there. Remember, it was 1.5 by 2, I think, on the card when I put the pot farmer up. That has the same proportions, right? That means when I shrink this down, it'll have the same size. Which, of course, right? I mean, this is not the complicated math that you do in physics. This is the easy math that you do in art. Okay, so am I still going? I am still going. All right, so we've got a little square. We want to put our drawing inside of that square. We'll also want these guides about 1/2 inch out. And these just tell us that we want to keep most of our drawing inside this little region, just so you don't have any problems bleeding out into stuff, that sort of stuff. All right, I've already lost people from insulting their parents. All right, I was afraid that I lost my touch. Okay, so yeah, that was one of the weird things, listening to Jonathan Haidt, listening to how late parents nowadays will still have their kids on a curfew, right? Look, like when I was a kid, I don't recall having a curfew ever, right? Ever having a curfew, period. Just, I guess I was supposed to be home by dinner, but after dinner, they didn't care what I did. Although probably I was just playing around in the yard, right? We had a couple acres, so the yard included the horse pasture and stuff like that. So he's not. bent over enough, because this guy's got to be running, right? This guy's running from the helicopter parents, right? So make sure he looks like he's doing that, like that. Got way too big a backpack. I don't know. Let's put a lunchbox here, right? Tied to his backpack. I don't know. I mean, do kids still have lunchboxes? I haven't checked. I have been surprised a few times, so well, and why have I been surprised? I've been surprised by the kids in the neighborhood. There are actually kids in the neighborhood. And I don't know that unless I happen to come out exactly, exactly when the school bus comes out, because apparently their parents are perfectly willing to let them walk half a block from the school bus. But not the 3 blocks from the school. It's not quite that close, but still. I think they're closer than the school I went to. And well, they're not closer than the school I went to when we moved to Colorado, but when I was in San Diego, I think. Don't need a good look for that hand, because that hand is going to be covered by a soccer ball. So again, this is a second drawing of what I was going to do here. So we've got the helicopter parents with the helicopter helmets rather than helicopter beanies. With a soccer ball, and I guess that's a bag lunch. I guess I can't have the mother bring in a bag lunch and have him have a I can't, but and have him have a so when I was listening to this guy talking to, who was it, Michael Shermer maybe, this weekend, I think HeliCops is what he said. I think he said HeliCops. I'm halfway sure of it when he was talking about helicopter parents. That might just be the way he feels, being the subject of their ire. Even in college, I'm the subject of their ire, so I guess they do exist. I mean, if they're still complaining that their kid isn't getting, 100% or 100%, even though they're not doing any work. But, and black that out. I don't like the angle of that helmet. Do you like the angle of that helmet? So we still have some sort of problem with the helicopter parents, and that might never go away. I'm not completely certain. Need a utility pouch or a utility pocket there. And this is a SWAT team, so they're wearing a blouse, a military style blouse, not a shirt. I have to remember that. So dad and mom they're modeled on the SWAT team, so this is dad. Okay, and combat boot. Like that. That's a great looking combat boot. has to be bloused as well. So we called it in the Marine Corps, is blousing your combat boots. No, and they do it differently in the Army. In the Marine Corps, we actually had a little elastic. It was a little green elastic thing, sort of like this, with hooks. So maybe like an eyelet here. I don't remember exactly what it looked like because I'm an old man now, but there was like a hook here and an eyelet there, like that. And you put that around the top of your boot and you pushed the end of your pant leg, your utility legs in there. Okay, so let's see if we can. Okay, that's a little bit better for the helmet angle. There. In and down and around. It has a little bit of a magneto-y look. And we'll keep Dad's head shaded, and we'll keep Dad's head shaded because we want him to look a little bit menacing. Okay, and then we need helicopter blades on the top of Dad's head. And this is one of the problems with... Okay, so we need this to be coming out longer on the sides, right? So let's do that. And a little bit off over here. So still nobody, as far as I can tell. We don't have anybody from Instagram here. What was the Instagram? Instagram is art_ranch, if you're into it. You can see all the naked women I draw. All right, so there we go. All right, that's looking good there. It's not looking great, but it's looking pretty good for what it is. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to add in a hand. Just a little bit of a hand to make it even worse. Actually, probably that's better because I don't have to articulate the digits. Okay, so that gives us a better angle for the kid. Let's just draw the hair is messy. Big nose. And scared eyes. All right. And a t-shirt. Okay, we said he's supposed to be sort of bent over, so this is that. Got the belly. Let's just leave it as a kind of cartoony pant. Okay, so make sure that the chin of the kid goes over the strap. Then we need a hand. It doesn't look big enough. It's a little bit. Okay, that's probably about right. And another deal there. And remember the arms are out a little bit. Doesn't look scared enough. He does not look scared enough. He has to look extremely scared. He has to look like it's the end of the world. He has to look like my sister did when I caught her trying to sneak beer to her elementary school. That kind of fear. My dad's second wife had an internship for a while at Coors. So let's see. So that means that meant that she got, I think it was 4 cases of beer. I don't know if she got any cash, but she got 4 cases of beer every month. 4 cases of Coors. All right, so now you're saying, okay, well, that's trash, right? But remember, this was a little bit earlier in the world. And so it was okay to like Coors and stuff like that. It was before the microbrew revolution stuff happened. So I'm going to try to give Mom a little bit of some hips or something like that to make her look a little bit female. Although she's going to be dressed exactly like Dad, so it might not work out very well, especially in this, size. Okay, so there's her combat boot and pocket, other utility pocket. Okay, and then I've got her bent over like this, reaching forward for a little foreshortening. And Mom has a bag there. So this is Mom here. Okay, so Mom needs a head. Most moms have a head. I don't know about your mom, but my mom certainly had a head for a while. Actually, I think she kept it all the way to the end. All right, and maybe I don't want to do that because I don't know that the fingers add anything other than fingers and hardship. Okay, so okay, and Mom also has no face. She's part of this okay, let's put it up a little bit more. It's part of this helicopter parenting movement. That's not a good angle. That's a good angle. Does that look all right? Maybe I'll extend Junior's leg a little bit. I've got that ability, so do that. Just give him a nondescript tennis shoe. All right, so I am wondering, of course, whether or not YouTube just pretends like there's one dude watching. Uh-oh. Am I in trouble? Is this guy? Oh, that Sharpie is dead. Let's see. Oh, gosh. My bag's a little ways away. Hold on. And now my pencils are all over the floor. Let's see, does that look like... Yeah. Alright, so I guess... What do I want to do first? Let's try Junior. Alright, like that. And some messy, unruly hair. Doesn't seem to be a lot of contrast. Well, contrast will depend on how I decide to draw the SWAT gear, which I may have just accidentally decided is going to be light. Okay, and there's a backpack, some straps. Yeah, that doesn't look good. And his backpack just keeps getting bigger. Let's be careful with the other drawings. Don't try to do too much with the detail, because okay, let's see. Oh crap. Oh, well, tried to add some tennis shoe detail and it did not work, c'est la vie. What does that look like to you? Oh man, that looks even worse than it looks like to me. Alright, so let's that a little bit bigger. Doesn't have to be the right size, just has to be the same size. Let's see, what should Junior be losing? Okay, so we know that his mother is coming by with a lunch. Right? Like that. So a mother with a lunch. And there we go. So I don't really know what I should be talking about. Had a little talk with the Archbishop this morning. How about that? Oh, that's not looking good either. So what did I talk about with the Archbishop? Well, how do you know an Archbishop anyway? Well, you know, I just get out of the house. That's how I know an Archbishop. But, what's the Archbishop worried about? Well, the Archbishop's mostly worried about the sort of things he's been worried about for a while. So normally he likes to get around, go to different places. Africa and Italy are the places he talks about the most. And because he has no idea whether or not he can get back, or whether or not it's even a good idea to go anywhere right now. He's stuck basically in the middle of nowhere with me, right? So rather than getting to talk to the kind of people that he likes, he's stuck talking to the people that are around, right? And in this particular case, right, where he has to hang out most of the time, is around here with upper middle class people. And he really doesn't like, it might be a surprise to you, but I don't think the Archbishop likes anybody. That's my general feeling. Seems to think the world is all screwed up. Everything we do to try to fix it makes it even worse. He is really upset. I think part of the reason is because the people who listen to him most are the people that he ministers to when he's not around, or when he's not around here. Like I said, when he's going to Africa and Europe. Today he did have some not so nice things to say about France. He hated going to France, apparently. So I'll keep that in mind. He went to Paris. I would like to find a way to sneak over to Marseille. I'm not sure how they work in the summertime or something like that, but I'd like to find a way to sneak over there. I was trying to find a way to sneak over there. Right now it's not working, but by sneak over there I mean get my boss to pay for it, a month or two in Marseille in the summer. Doesn't have to technically be my boss. It can be anybody at work. But man, was he upset with France today. I think he talks to me because he does so much counseling, but he doesn't get any himself, so he just talks to the weird kid who listens to just about anybody who wants to talk to him. All right. So, anyways, the Archbishop does not have any good things to say about the people in this community. And part of that's probably because, his relationship with people in this community is not necessarily so great, right? He's in a very Protestant place. And he sort of feels like they don't know very much of anything because they're Protestants. And he is Orthodox. So when like today, usually he doesn't show up in his collar, but today he was in his collar because he had to go do something later. But he did have a story today about going to a funeral, right? He went to a funeral. The bishop went to a funeral because that's actually one of those things that bishops do. And some woman, after the funeral, and he went to the wake, some woman came by sat down next to him, and said, "I'm so relieved you're here because I'm wearing red too, because you're wearing red too." Well, he's an Orthodox bishop or archbishop. He wears red. That's what he does. That does not actually excuse you, as a non-bishop, from showing your respects by wearing black, right? So your formal attire for a funeral is a little bit different than his, just because of his position. So he was upset about that, for example. Maybe not upset about that, but that was one of his reasons for thinking everybody around here was trash. I shouldn't say it that way, but they're not all... they don't know very much about much of anything except themselves. He had a really disgusting story from U of H where there was a nun wandering around, and there were some, born-again Christians who came up to her with some literature and asked the nuns, do you know Jesus Christ? And obviously, they're married to him, right? They're, at least, they're technically married to him. So, that is a really weird thing. Are there more things I should draw here? I'm not getting any suggestions, so I don't know. What else do you have? So we've got what's supposed to be a brown bag here for the lunch. Got a soccer ball. Dad's going to pelt the kid with the soccer ball. What else should we give to the kids? So the kid's running, and we want things to be flying out. Sort of grade school things. I don't remember what did I have a bag in grade school? Do kids have bags in grade school? I think they do. So I drew a protractor. So what we'll call these HeliCop Parenting. This is the first issue, so that is why there aren't any little circles on the card. So the card has little circles that are supposed to be for little frowny face stickers. And when the elector gets 3 frowny faces, you're supposed to burn the card, right? Or maybe cut it in half. So I haven't decided what. Definitely some cards will be burned and some cards will be cut in half. I guess, you can't force people to do it. Let's put the ruler over here. Another pencil. An eraser. Just a little eraser here. It's got one book. A folder. Like that. Yeah, it's not looking good. It's supposed to be another folder. We'll just sort of leave it as some paper or something. just as something running around there. You want a juice box? Here's a juice box. Problem with juice boxes is you can only tell they're juice boxes after you put the straw in them. Anything else the kid could lose while he's running away from his helicopter parents? I don't think so. All right. Let's see. Let's hope that Mom is pretty well dry so that when I erase this, Mom is pretty well dry. All right. Good. Let's get rid of that pencil to see what it looks like, and probably, you see, I can already see a couple places. Where it would be. Alright, let's see, what can I do here? So, you see, I didn't see that I'm missing a thing there. Can't see that. Make sure this looks a little bit wrinkled. Cuff. Can't tell the cuff there, so we'll add the cuff. Okay, so we don't really see what's going on here, so let's add in a little bit of sidewalk. One side of sidewalk, of course, has grass. The other side has road, so there's another spot here. That was the wrong direction for that. And that'll have to be blacker over here. I don't want that to be perfectly black, so I'm going to draw in some lines. Doesn't look great, but and don't know exactly how it would look. So add some roughness to that so we don't see many squares. We don't want squares. Hope I don't need to buy a new Sharpie for every drawing, but I might. We do want that sort of illusion of a point at infinity. Don't need to have a real one that's going overboard for this, but let's see. And let's see, shadow, it's not going well. Let's put some little dots in there for the, actually maybe a gel pen would give me some dots over. It's a little better fade out, not very good, but a little better. So I'm going to and that ruler doesn't look very rulery, so let's add some rules. And the question is can I make it better than that for the black and white? One thing I could do, let's see, which is this? One thing I could do is add some gray. Are these warm or are these cold? It's warm. There's the cold gray. Cool gray 90%. That's like almost black. Okay, let's see here. 30%. This might not be good, but maybe that'll make it look a little bit better. Mom's hand is too big. Oh well. This might be a little bad because we want to turn that blue at some point. We'll worry about that point when we get to it. There are ways that can happen, especially if I have a light gray like this, right? Oops, a little extra on the kid. Okay. So yeah, that doesn't look good. Don't always like the way these things look. So many things I need to actually learn how to use these pens. I'm sure there's a better way to use them. But that does look good. Now the hair doesn't look so dark as I originally thought it did. Okay, so well, all right, so let's see. I'm about done, but may as well keep talking. Okay, so this is currently my least popular YouTube channel, and you can probably see why. Actually, I'm really confused because those YouTube channels include things like physics textbook reviews, That one's growing the fastest. um, so I'm not sure about that. I thought maybe sarcastic card game art would be a little more interesting to people, but apparently not. Now, unlike the last live stream that I decided to just get rid of, this doesn't take that much extra work. I mean, obviously, there was the original drawing that you saw. Well, if you saw the preview, you saw the original drawing. Then I gave this second one that I did this morning just before the Archbishop showed up, so I could act as his psychologist. Not sure what I'm doing for him. But it seems like, he needs... it's one of those things. Everyone needs someone to talk to, right? And if you're a respectable person, then I'm the perfect person to talk to, because I'm not respectable and nobody will believe anything I say. So you can tell me all about all the screwed up crap you've ever done, and you'll be safe, which is great. Okay, still don't like this shoe, or that shoe. I'm going to just draw it in. Let's see. I'm going to add some features here. Try to make that look a little more like tarmac. Some more grass. This looks like my grass because my grass needs to get cut because it's Tuesday. And oh, there we go. That looks scared. Yes. We wanted darker hair for this kid. The hair's not looking dark. But now it's not even looking like hair. Alright, well, let's see what we can do about that. But I'll keep on going with this one. So what I want to do with this channel, obviously, is just give myself a rationale to keep drawing these cards, even if I end up with something like that. With the hair, there's maybe one or two things I can do to fix that. But I'd just like to get done with that particular project since the previous attempt at a game failed. So I want to get this game done. Oops. This is supposedly ink. Unfortunately, I did something bad to the brush. Okay, that's better. That's better. Okay. I don't want to go over the black too much there. Okay, that's... Maybe we can... and screwed up the brush. Maybe this would be easier. All right. Okay, let's see, what else do we want here? Okay, so that boot, it's a little boot shaped. That boot looks a little more shiny. Dad has this chocolate bars, the Hershey bars. I think it was something like that we used to call them. When you shined your boots just to look black, not to look shiny. So you loaded them up with this boot polish, but you didn't actually polish them. Okay, can we improve the mom? Oh, I think people will get it, and let's try to improve the dad a little bit. Okay. All right, so if you looked at that original drawing for this, I had SWAT on there, so that might also have been a good idea, but not the one we went with. How does that look on your screen? Actually, on the screen it doesn't look too bad. Let's see, get back up. Let me get a better. Yeah, actually that looks good on the screen. With my nose in it, it looks bad. How close did I get in there? Could you see my ear? No, just my nipple hair. Okay. So there we are, Helicopter Parenting, the first issue card. Unfortunately, I don't really know what I want it to do, but that's the first issue, is Helicopter Parenting. All right, or HeliCop Parenting, not Helicopter Parenting. So, Dad and Mom on the SWAT team of love. Guess that's not the right way to say it. That would be another thing. That might be a red card, but this is going to turn into a blue card. Actually, this particular one could have ended up blue or red. And it ended up blue because blue was the color I put down first when it was a color I put on the card. So this one could have showed up in either one because all it needs is somebody fairly respectable and unfortunately wealthy. So that's both the blues and the reds. So that's 54 minutes, 55 minutes. I'm not sure. So that'll be enough for today. Somebody remind me sometime about telling you about red and blue and why it's so goddamn weird. But I'm not sure how weird it really is, but it's a little bit weird, the whole red versus blue thing in the United States. So, happy Tuesday, and I will see you again next week. Bye now.